For $9,000, you can buy a brand new street-legal golf cart with its own name, its own logo, and its own dealer. And the cart parked right next to it, wearing a completely different badge and a completely different price tag, came out of the exact same factory, same frame, same motor, the same hands on the same assembly line, 8,000 miles away. The golf cart lot looks like a street full of rival brands, all fighting for your money. Most of them are not rivals at all. Behind 7 of the names you are about to hear, there are really only a handful of companies, and one factory in particular is the entire reason this video exists. By the end, you will be able to walk onto any lot and know exactly who really built the cart before anyone tries to sell you the badge. Start with the 3 names that are exactly what they claim to be, because you need the honest baseline before the trick makes sense. Club Car, EZ-Go, and Yamaha. These 3 actually build complete golf carts, and they have been doing it for decades. EZ-Go was founded in 1954 by 2 brothers in a one-room machine shop in Augusta, Georgia, and its first carts ran on surplus 24-volt motors originally built for the wing flaps of World War II bombers. It has been part of Textron since 1960 and still builds in Augusta today. Club Car started in 1958, also in Augusta, pioneered the rust-proof aluminum frame, and in 2021 was sold to a private equity firm for $1.68 billion. Yamaha builds its carts in Newnan, Georgia, where it has produced over 4 million vehicles and employs more than 2,000 people. Together, these 3 legacy makers build an estimated 90% of the golf carts running on actual golf courses around the world. That is the real thing. Steel and aluminum, bent and welded and assembled by companies that have been at it since before you were born. But here is the tension. Over the last 5 years, the lot has been flooded with a new wave of flashy street-legal carts. Lifted, lithium-powered, loaded with screens and speakers, wearing names that sound like American startups. Buyers assume they are choosing between competitors. They are not, and the paperwork that proves it is sitting in a federal database that anyone can read. Here is how the trick works, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. A company in China builds a golf cart. A company in the United States puts its name on it, warehouses it, handles the warranty, and sells it to you as an American brand. Sometimes that American company assembles the final pieces here. Sometimes it just opens the shipping container. Either way, the machine was designed and built somewhere else, and the badge on the front is a marketing decision, not a manufacturer. The reason this is so easy to prove is that a real street-legal cart is not like an old golf cart with a short little serial number. It carries a full 17-character vehicle identification number, and the first 3 characters of that number are a manufacturer code that tells you exactly which company and which country actually built it. On top of that, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration keeps a public database that lists the legal company behind every badge, its chief executive, its address, and every brand name it operates under. That database is where the whole illusion falls apart. Start with the easy one, Icon and Epic. On the lot, they look like 2 different brands at 2 different price points. They are one company. Icon, headquartered in Tampa, Florida, which brought the Epic line under its own roof in 2020 and now markets both as one family of brands, assembled in Florida from Chinese-built components. Icon is not small either. It grew into one of the largest low-speed vehicle makers in the country, moving thousands of carts a month through hundreds of dealers, many of them rolling on Japanese Toyota motors tucked under an American badge. That is 2 names, one company. Now Denago. Denago sells itself as a homegrown American brand based in Texas and Florida, and it is real in the sense that the offices exist, but the carts themselves are the golf cart arm of a giant Chinese power sports manufacturer called Zhejiang Taotao, a company that pumps out roughly 900,000 four-wheelers and motorcycles a year from a plant covering 1.3 million square feet. Trade press describes Denago as being to Taotao what Lexus is to Toyota. And here is a detail that shows you how small this world really is. The people launching these American-sounding brands often come straight out of each other's companies. Denago's early team included staff who had worked at Icon. On the lot, the badges compete. Behind the curtain, it is the same small circle of people importing from the same corner of China. That is 3 names, 2 companies, And we have not even reached the one that made this whole video necessary, Star EV. If you have shopped for a street legal cart, you have probably seen the name. More than 50 models, a big presence in the Carolinas, marketed with a genuinely American success story. And the story is true, just not the way the badge implies. Star EV is a brand of a company called JH Global Services, founded in 2003 in Simpsonville, South Carolina, by two first-generation immigrants from China who, by their own account, arrived speaking almost no English. They built a real business, a 150,000 square foot facility, an $8.7 million expansion, jobs, even a regional Entrepreneur of the Year honor for its chief executive. That part deserves respect. But the manufacturing that fills those American warehouses happens in China. American company, American story, Chinese factory. That is 4 names across 3 companies. Now the reason this video exists. Watch 3 separate brands collapse into one. The first is Evolution. Evolution is one of the hottest names in street legal carts right now, marketed as a sharp, modern American EV brand out of California. The second is a brand called Express. The third is a manufacturer called HDK. On the lot, and all over the internet, these read as 3 different things. Here is what the federal trademark records actually show. The United States trademarks for both Evolution and Express were registered to the same single company, HDK Plastic Factory, Limited, USA, headquartered in Chino, California. The manufacturer's own website is literally hdkexpress.com, and Evolution has never really hidden the root of it. It launched in 2016 and openly described itself as the American brand of HDK, a company that had already been building carts since 2006. So where do all 3 actually come from? A single factory in Xiamen, China, called Xiamen Dal. New Energy Automobile Company, 88,000 square meters, turning out around 50,000 electric vehicles a year, most of them shipped straight to the United States. 3 names you thought were competitors, 1 factory, 1 trademark owner, and if you pull up that public safety database, the entry for HDK Plastic Factory lists its trade names right there in a row. Evolution, HDK, and more, all under 1 legal company, 1 chief executive, 1 Chino. California address. That is the whole trick, printed by the government for free. And it gets bigger because the people who actually build real carts in America finally got tired of it. In June of 2024, the American makers, led by Club Car and the parent company of EZ-Go, filed a massive trade case with the federal government, accusing Chinese manufacturers of dumping these carts into the United States at unfairly low, subsidized prices. In 2025, the government agreed. It found real injury to American producers and slapped down anti-dumping duties reaching as high as 478%, with additional subsidy duties running even higher than that. 478%. That is not a typo, and it tells you exactly how far below honest cost these machines were landing on American docks. That top figure is the rate reserved for Chinese producers who would not cooperate with the investigation, but even the named factories did not walk away clean. The Xiamen factory behind Evolution was hit with anti-dumping duties above 300% on its own. These are not nuisance tariffs. They are the government's official measure of how far these prices sat below the true cost of building a cart in the open, and then it escalated one more time. In April of 2026, U.S. Customs opened an evasion investigation into about a dozen importers, names you now recognize, including Icon, Denago, and HDK, over alleged attempts to dodge those duties by routing carts through Vietnam to disguise where they were really made. That case is still being fought this year. Icon alone faced a combined duty rate north of 500% and told a federal court the bill could put it out of business entirely. This was never just badges and marketing. There is a paper trail, a courtroom, and hundreds of millions of dollars riding on the single question of who actually builds these carts. So what does all of this mean when you are standing on the lot with $9,000 in your pocket? It means the question that actually matters is not which brand, but which factory. And now you know how to find out. 7 names: Evolution, Express, HDK, Icon, Epic, Denago, and Star EV. Behind them, really only a handful of companies. Evolution, Express, and HDK are one factory in Xiamen. Icon and Epic are one company in Tampa. Denago is a Chinese power sports giant wearing a Texas jacket. Star Evi is an American front on Chinese manufacturing. None of that automatically makes them bad carts. Plenty of people are perfectly happy with them, and some are genuinely well built for the money. The problem is not that they come from China. The problem is that you are often paying a premium for a name, believing you are buying an exclusive American brand, when the nearly identical machine may be sitting 3 spaces down under a rival badge for a very different price. Here is the part almost nobody tells you. Because these carts are so closely related under the skin, the smart move is not to chase the logo. It is to ask 2 questions the salesperson usually will not volunteer. First, who is the legal manufacturer listed on the vehicle's paperwork? And second, where is the warranty actually serviced when something breaks? If the answer to the first question is a company you have never heard of in a city 8,000 miles away, and the answer to the second is a phone number instead of a local shop, you have learned more in 30 seconds than the badge will tell you in a year. And remember the honest baseline we started with. Club Car, E-Z-Go, and Yamaha are still bending metal in Georgia. Not because the green cart or the aluminum one is automatically the right answer for you. A lifted lithium street cart might be exactly what you want, but because there is a real, provable difference between a company that has welded frames in the same American town for 60 years and a company that opened a warehouse last spring and printed some badges. That difference does not always show up on the sticker, but it always shows up in the paperwork, and it usually shows up the first time you need a part. One last detail, because it captures the whole thing. The company behind Evolution and HDK has already been penalized in California, a $550,000 settlement in 2024 for selling vehicles that had not cleared the state's emissions and certification rules, and it was not even the company's first settlement. That is the reality hiding behind the glossy showroom photos and the American-sounding names. Not a scandal exactly, but a business model. Build cheap overseas, badge it richly at home, and count on the fact that almost no buyer will ever read the one document that gives it all away. Golf carts are just the clearest example of something happening across almost everything you buy. Mowers, tools, appliances, furniture, a shrinking number of factories, a growing number of badges, and an entire retail floor built to make a shrinking few look like a crowded competitive market. The names are designed to sell you a story. The paperwork tells you the truth. And once you have learned to read the difference on a golf cart lot, you will start seeing it everywhere. In the tractor aisle, the appliance showroom, the tool section, the same few factories wearing a dozen different faces. If this changed how you will look at the next lot you walk onto, hit subscribe, because pulling the badge off the box and showing you who really built the thing is exactly what this channel does. I will see you in the next one.